Welcome to another edition of Treasure Tuesday. If you struggle with creating connection with people, building solid, sound relationships, whether they are intimate or simply friendships or just connections with your community, then keep watching. This video is especially for you. I received a beautiful question a few months ago from a lovely lady. I struggle to be close to people. I can't ever seem to get other people to care about me as much as I care about them, be it romantic or platonic. Other people have flourishing relationships and I feel upset that I don't know how to be close to others. I'm very introverted and not very confident and feel like I am not as important as other people. There's a clue right there. Do you have any tips? Thank you so much. Beautiful question. I'm not sharing her name because I don't think she wanted me to. Personally, this is something I struggled with for many years. So wherever you are on your journey, I feel you and I hear you. And the good news is that the first step to creating freedom and connection is to simply be awake and aware to this pattern of feeling alone, isolated, not good enough, okay? And very clearly in your question here, you're already aware of this, which is very powerful because that awareness starts to bring a sort of spaciousness and space between you and this issue, space between you and this idea that there's something wrong with you or you're not as good as other people or not as important, like you said, as other people. For me, I remember being at a retreat with my teacher, Leonard Jacobson, and I actually went through this many times and he would call me out on this again and again and again, but I'll never forget the first time I was complaining and just really upset that I felt like people didn't see me. I felt like they didn't get me. I felt like an alien, literally. And he looked at me and he said, "Veronica, how can anyone really see you if you're only showing a small fraction of who you are?" And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I knew he was hitting on truth and it really like made me kind of bristle, I was like, what is he talking about? And he's like, you show up as this perfect thing, all polished and everything, but where's the rest of you? Back then, all I knew was showing the perfectionist, showing the perfect me. I didn't know how to reveal the untogether me or the sad me or the angry me or the totally screwed up, messed up version of myself. I was terrified of that. And in that work and through the diamond process work as well, I began to discover different facets of myself. You guys have heard me share that, I'm sure, many times. It's like we have all these different facets, right? And so a lot of times we get loved or we've received love from being perfect or from being really smart or whatever that is that we lead with. But there are all these other sides of our personalities that are also part of us. So it's important to include in our acceptance and in our own loving and in our radical self-care an embrace of all of those parts. So if you're somebody who's struggling with this, obviously through your question you are, I ask you, what is it that you are most afraid of people seeing? Like, what would you never do? Are you someone who tends to polish with makeup and make sure that you look absolutely gorgeous? Or are you somebody who only make sure that you lead with intelligence and are always on top of your game and always speaking from the most, each word being 20 letters long, that sort of thing? Just get out a sheet of paper and literally make a list of the parts of you that you are really proud of. And then make a list of the parts of you that you really don't like, that you really wish nobody knew about, and you would do anything to get rid of that part of you. For me, those parts of me that I would have done anything to get rid of were emotionally all over the place, maybe anger for sure, not being contributing, like if I'm a taker, and not giving back. So there were certain things that I just didn't want to be. So it's important to make a list of those sides of yourself, because I guarantee you, if you have the sweet side, you definitely have the sour side. If you have the beautiful side, you have the ugly side. If you have the incredibly confident moments, you have the insecure moments. And that's just part of being a multifaceted human being. So the treasure tool this week, and I'm just scraping the surface with this, if you feel disconnected from other people, I share those words from Leonard and as more of a question for you. How can people really see you and connect with you if you're only showing a certain part of yourself? I'm not saying with this that you go out there and show all the parts of you that are very vulnerable for you. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I am inviting you to, and what the treasure tool is this week, is to make that list of the parts of you that you deem as unlovable, unacceptable, and definitely can't show other people. And start to give those parts of you permission to exist in your journal, in your own meditation or mindfulness practice, in your own diamond process work. That's what my whole book is about, the diamond process. It's about bringing those parts of you back, because although they seem dark, there's always a light side. There's always a positive side locked in those disowned parts of ourselves. So once we embrace those parts of ourselves, we become more whole, more true to who we are, more empowered, more clear, more confident. So I invite you to look at the one facet of yourself that is the part of you that you don't like. What would be your biggest fear that someone would see you as? Not pretty enough, not good enough, not smart enough. And start to give a voice to that part of you and discover it as if it's a child. Because oftentimes when we're not allowing that part of us to express, to exist, that's how we get lost in it. By trying to repress something, that's actually how it claims us. That's how it brings it down into its world of insecurity. But when you actually step into the diamond self, the part of you that is completely clear, present, mindful, and intentional, the part of you that is able to see what's going on and embrace, like a mother or a father, that part of you that's asking for love, like the unworthy facet or the ugly facet or the stupid facet or whatever, that's when you start to see yourself. Because the part of you that does not feel important is coming from the part of you that you've disowned. And so if you can start to be present with the part of you, start with one part of you, just one, and you'll notice a radical shift. Start with one facet of yourself. First, clarify what that is, name it, feel it in the body somewhere, and start to breathe into it. Embrace it as if you're welcoming in a small child into your life and adopting that kid, that orphaned kid who's been waiting for your love all along. And that's where that part will start to feel relevant and important and valuable. And once you hear its voice and discover what does this part of me need, which is oftentimes just love, acceptance, or maybe just space to be seen, to be heard, you'll begin to notice it's easier to connect with people out there and to be seen. And there's less of a fear that, oh my God, what if they see this side of me? Because if they reject you, it doesn't matter because you're accepting you. So all in all, this is an invitation for you to recognize that everything out there is simply a reflection of our internal reality. So if you feel like you can't connect with people out there, my treasure tool for you this week is to find a way to connect with the parts of you that are desperate for love inside, and to start to build that relationship inside, and then notice how that starts to translate in your outer world. With time, you will likely start to attract much deeper relationships. It's often not about what the other person's doing, but if we're so busy hiding parts of ourselves, it's very hard for another person to connect with us. It's very hard to be seen when you're so busy hiding. So I hope this helps you and serves you in some way. Thank you for your beautiful question. I feel like it's a really powerful one. And if you feel called to go deeper with this, feel free to check out a playlist I have on my YouTube channel, which is it's the Diamond Process, and it's a 7 videos to support you in this. Or you can get the Diamond Process book, which guides you like step by step into doing this work so that you can blossom into the full, radiant, powerful, liberated, confident woman or man that you are here to be. All right, my friends, I have some exciting announcements. Those are coming next week. I love you all, and I will see you very, very soon. Mwah!